All right, welcome back to another video. Today, I'm doing another video on the Mpc 4000 and why you should buy one now. This one I'm concentrating on the Q-Link, as you can see on the screen. We're doing the Q-Link breakdown today. So I've seen a few Q-Link breakdowns online and I thought I'd do a complete one on the Q-Link. So first of all, what we're gonna do is we're gonna press the setup button, which is on the far left. So setup. So here we've got all of the Q-Links. So at the top here, you can see it says multi. So if you record any data with the Q-Links, if you record any Q-Links data, it actually saves into your multi setting. So when you save everything, it will save your multi, or you can just save your multi by yourself. Most people save all or make a whole folder and save everything. But if you're not doing that and you're saving everything individually, then you want to save the multi. And obviously you can rename the multi whatever you want. So anyway, at the top here, we got one for the knob. So we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. We've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 knobs. 3, 4, and then you got the 2 sliders. So at the bottom of the screen, you got resend, sieve, and then you got resettle. So now I'm going to show you what these do. So here on the part, you got part, or you can change this here. This is the only thing you can change out of those 6 options there, is this. So you can change that to effect. So first of all, I'm gonna set up one here on the slider, number 5. So with this part, you can select whatever part you want to control. So let's say part 1, right? So the parts actually are these parts here, which is inside your track on your main screen, part 1. So whatever program you got assigned to the part is what it will affect on this setup page here. So I'll go back to setup. So part 1, yeah? So here, what we're gonna assign, we're just gonna do amplitude for this one, but it's got different ones. It's got pan, pitch, LFO, it's got a load of them. Cut off, so you can control all of the program parameters. These are program parameters. So you can control any one of these as you please. And these ones here, you assign these. You can assign these, and you can assign any one you want to anywhere. It's in another screen, in the program screen. But for this tutorial here, I'm just gonna do amplitude, which is volume. Okay, so if you see, I'm moving the fader. As you can see, it moves up and down. Okay, so this here type is replace or offset. This is just the way the actual fader or knob reacts. This is your range here. This is your range, so you set the range whatever you want, and it has different ranges for different assignments. So for this, because it's amplitude, it just goes from -100 to +100. Okay. This control here has numbers. So basically, this is the number you use if you're controlling it from an external machine, because it takes messages coming in as well. So you can control these Q-Links from an external device. So if you want to match the numbers up, you match it up here through your other device, if you're controlling it from another source. So here, on this Midi one here, Midi, see? This one here is the channel that this Q-Link will receive a message from an external device. So that's it. I just showed you what all 5 of these are for the part. You can affect all, so that will affect all programs and parts that you got in your sequence, or you can just affect single ones. So in this one, I'm just doing number 1 for program 1 that I've got. So here on part 2, I'm gonna put an effects one here. So here you go to effects. So effects 1 is basically send A. I'll go to it. I'll show you. So that send A, I've got phaser delay on it. Okay. So if you choose effects 1, it will choose A. As you can see there, A. It's not switched on at the moment. I've got it switched off at the moment. So we go back to setup. So here, attributes, you can change what you want it to change. Rate, depth, feedback, delay, different bounce. That's it for that. So for this, we're just gonna do wet, dry, which controls the amount, obviously, of whatever effect you got going in there. Same again, I've explained these already. So now we've got 2 set up, okay? So I've got another one that I can set up as well. So what I'm gonna do here, but I'm setting it up on an external machine. So the machine I'm using externally is an Akai S950 sampler. So in order to do that, to send a message out from the Q-Link, what you've got to do is you have to press this button here, send. So once you're on this screen here, as you can see, all of these say Q event. So this screen here, overall, it controls whether your receive channel, see the ones I've got set here, got 6 and 5, okay, got 1 on the effects channel, 1 running the volume amplitude, okay. So if I press this screen here, so these are just like a mirror of these ones, okay, but really they control these ones. So as you can see here, it says Q event, but there's 3 options. Yeah, you can switch it off. So if you switch it off, so if you, let's go to this one here because it's mirroring the other one. So if I switch this off, if I go to off, this one will not work. As you can see, the fader's gone, yeah? So let's go back, switch it back on to Q event. Back. So this overall runs the other one. It determines what it does. See? If you set it to control change, which is the one that I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna do it on one of the knobs. If you set it to control change as well, it disables it, as you can see. So we want that on Q event. As you can see, it's back. So now what we want this top one here, because there's nothing on this top one, number 1. So on number 1, we're gonna go control change. That's what you want. You want control change. Then on here, we want control number 1, because that's the actual number of the modulation wheel. So if I twist this, you see it moving? If I twist this, it's going to affect the modulation wheel of the 950, because I've got it set by that number, that control number. So I'll show you a picture of the MIDI implementation sheet. I'll show you a picture of that for the 950, just to show you how it actually works, how you link devices together by MIDI. So now, let's go back. So we got all 3 set now. We got this one here set. Control change, as you see. You can set the range as well. So you can have it not modulating that much. You can set the range, as you can see. It's more to 127. So now we got the 3 set up. We got number 1 set up, number 5 set up, and we got number 6 set up. So let's go back. So now I'm going to show you how it works. So we got them set up now. So this number 5 here, we got an amplitude, right? So with that, let's just go to the sign. So on this amplitude, this is just the volume. So this is just a basic one. So if you wanted to say, change the cutoff on the filter, you actually have to have a filter on in the program settings. You have to have one set up. So like, even if LFO or anything like that, you have to have it set up in order to control it. If it's off, then there's nothing to control. So you would have to set it up and then control it. So with amplitude, because it's volume, it's just straightforward. That's why I'm showing you this one. So I've got a sequence set up, just a little sequence. So if I press play on it, here that I'm controlling the volume with this knob here, as you can see. So that's basically in control of the volume. It's number 5. So this one here, number 6, is in charge of the effects. So same again, with the effects, you have to have an effect set up in order to control the effect with the Q-Link. So what you want to do is set your effect up first, however you want it, and then control it with the knob. Whatever assignment you want to control with the knob. Wet, dry, rate, whatever. So you have to have it set up first. So I've got mine switched off right now. So I'll switch it on. So edit. And then on. So now it's on. See, I'm pushing the pad. You can hear that delay, phaser delay. So let's go back to the setup screen. Setup. So as you can see here, these two are set up. If I push the pad, so now if I push the pad, see it? As you can see. So I'm controlling the effect. You get it? So that's basically how you set up the amplitude for a part. You can remember you can affect all parts if you want all parts affected, or you can just have single parts. And this affects, it has 1 to 4, okay, which is A, B, C, and D. That's what they correspond to. So that's how you set up an effects Q-Links, and that's how you set up a part Q-Links. Pretty simple. I'm going to come back to the other one, the S950, but first I'm going to show you how to record and about the recording of Q-Link data, how to find the data and erase the data. So I've got a sequence going now. So I'm going to show you how to record the data from a Q-Link into the sequence, okay? So you can record it onto the same track as your part. So part 1, you can record it onto any track. You can record it here onto this track because it's just data. It's not notes, it's data. So I'm just going to record it onto the same channel, yeah? So I'm just doing it rough. I don't want the sample to get shown too much just in case I get a copyright. It's not about copyright. So that's it. So So that's recorded. That data's recorded now. So if you want to see this data, if you actually want to see this data, and another thing actually, before I say anything more, there's 6 buttons as well on the Q-Link called active. Yeah, those buttons, you don't need to press it to record data, because I've seen some videos where it says you have to press the active button, but you don't have to press the active button to record Q-Link data. Yeah, I'm going to come back to the active button and tell you what the active button does. So if you want to see the data that you just recorded, remember I recorded that with no active button. I just used the fader, yeah? And it recorded as you heard, right? So if you want to see the data, you press sequence edit. As you can see, that's the sample that I've laid out. So if you want to see the data, then you go down here to view and you go along until you find this here, you see it? Q-Link event. You get it? So that's how you see it. Obviously, you can do it however you want. You can move the fader how. I've just done it rough because I don't want too much of the sample getting shown, just in case they try and strike me. So basically, that's how you see the data. Okay? There's another way to see it as well. If you press step edit, there it is right there. See it? Or you can go here, all events. So if you want to delete, you can delete each part individually, or you can delete all. So yeah, that's how you do it. You can delete by pressing, you can either go on, press the erase button. Got options here to delete it. Or you can do it with the F button, F4. So now I'm going to explain the active button, what the active button does, yeah? So now, if I play this, I'll go back to sequence edit so you can see it properly. So now I'm going to press play. So now if I press the active button now, I've got the fader down. See, it's not doing nothing, because what the active button does is it overrides whatever's happening. So whatever you've done, whatever you've recorded, if you press the active button, then it basically disables it, yeah? It disables it. So if I move the fader now, it'll work. See, I'm moving the fader with the active button on. So if I record with this active button on, it acts like the record button where it records over. It disables, it wipes out whatever data you got on there. Even a sequence, which I'm going to show you after this. So yeah, that's it. So if I turn this active button off, I'm going to turn the active button off, see? The active button is not on. Now it works. So now I'm going to record over this data with the active button activated. So if I just press record, I'm going to press active first, actually. Active. I've got the fader down. Now I'm going to press record. I'm going to press overdub. Play. Boom. See, look, you see it? It's recording over it, even though I press overdub. See? So now I'm recording my own thing. So that's it. I'll stop recording there. You see, it's recorded the data from the Q link with the active button activated. So that's what the active button does. It overrides everything that you've done until you deactivate the button. So now I'm going to go on ahead and erase this so I can show you the next part. So what I'm doing here, I'm just going to press erase, the erase button. This is while I'm inside of the sequence edit. So erase from here. And then here you got options. Obviously you got the range where you want to erase it from onto here. I'm going to do all except notes. So boom, now it's gone. So now I'm going to show you how to use the Q-Link sequence. So what you do here, you press sequence, which is in the far left corner next to the setup button. So you're going to go ahead and press that sequence. You come to this page here. So you've got some options here. Right. You got knobs. You can use the knobs or the sliders, as you can see there on the F keys. You got knob, slider, Q1 to 4, on or off. Right, at the top you got step. So that's the step you want. That's the amount of steps you want within the sequence. Yeah. So this is basically, this goes with your sequence. So up here you choose the sequence. Yeah. Okay. Whatever sequence you want, you choose up here. So we've only got one sequence, so we're using sequence 1. This is the amount of steps you want within that sequence. So for this one, we're just going to use the sliders, yeah? So we press the F2 and it will come to this screen here. So what you want to do is you just want to go down to here, and then you can scroll along and choose whichever one you want, and then you use the fader. Use the fader. I'm just gonna pick random ones, yeah. So I'm just gonna go like that. And then I'm gonna choose 8 steps. So remember, I'm using fader 5, Q-Link 5, right? So to activate it on here, after you press the sequence button, to activate the fader with a knob, you have to press the F key. As you can see down there, it says Q5 off. So I'm about to press it. F5. Now it's on. So that fader's turned on. Yeah. So I can use the other fader as well, maybe. I can use the effects fader. So let's use the effects fader as well with it, just to show you. So now we've got both them faders on. Remember, Q button at the bottom, you have to switch it on. So Q number 6, we're gonna press F6 now. Now it's on. So now when I press play, in fact, sorry, the next button you gotta press is this button here on the left is called Q-Link sequence. You have to press that button to activate it, otherwise it will not work. Yeah, so this button here, after you set your faders, however you want your faders, however you want your steps, and you've switched on the Qs, then you want to press Q-Link sequence. So I'm going to press that now. So now the light comes on. It doesn't do anything to the screen, but a light will come on top of the button. So that's how you know it's on, right? So if I press it. See? So that's how you control it. That's how you control the step. the step sequencer. So now, if I press setup, remember, this send page here has authority. So if I switch any of these off, that step sequencer won't work. So let's go back to the sequencer. You can record this data. Yeah, so let's record it. So I just press record. Overdub. Because if you press record, it will record your note over your notes. So that's it, that's recorded now. So now I don't need to actually have the button pressed on, the Q-Link sequence button. I can turn that off because it's recorded data. So I switch that off. So now the Q-Link sequence is switched off, yeah? So now, if I press play, it's recorded, yeah? So now, if I go to sequence edit, there you go, there it is. So if you wanna erase that, you know, you have to press the erase button, or, you know, it's pretty simple. So now, again, yeah, the active buttons will have authority over this, yeah? So if I press active, yeah, it doesn't matter what's inside of this data here. It doesn't matter about this data. If I press the active button, it disables it. So that's what the active button is for. Yeah, it overrides all the information. So that's it. That's basically how to use those two links that I showed you. Number 5, number 6, that's how you set them up. So now I'm gonna move on to the external device that I've got set up under the Q-Link. So if I press send, so we got this here, control change. So we're controlling the modulation wheel on the Akai S950. It doesn't actually have a wheel on it because, you know, it's just a rack mounted synth. So basically the setting internally for the modulation, I'm controlling it with this knob here. So I'm going to show you that. Also, once the data has been recorded from the sequence, from the Q-Link sequence, and you switched it off, or once you switched it off, it's recorded. So the data is recorded. Once once these are set up, then it's recorded. If they're on here and it's recorded, then it's gonna play. So if I go back to this sequence page, it says Q5 on, Q6 on. If I switch these off, it don't matter because it's recorded. As you can see, there's the values right there. All events. And this is the step edit page. There it is right there. Simple. All right, so now I'm just gonna erase this. All except notes. Do it. That's it, it's done. So now I'm gonna show you the setup on the external device, on the S950. So I've got a little sequence going here on the S950 track here. Right, so in order to control whatever you're controlling with the Q-Link, if you're controlling the external device, then obviously you got to have your external device switched on in the track, okay? So here, we've got the output. My output for the S950 is output C from my MPC. So over here, we've got the setup page. As you can see, on number 1 there, there's no knob. That's because I've set up number one here, knob number one here. So that's it. That's me twisting it right there. As you can see it moving. It's on control number one. I've set the range from 0 to 127, and I'm controlling the modulation wheel of the S950. So if I press play, you can hear the sound playing. If I twist this knob, you're going to hear the modulation, the LFO cutting. Hear it? So you can record this data. I'll show you. Let's go to the main screen. As you can see, this one's set up here. Control change. Let's go to the main screen. Right. So we'll just record it to this track. So let's go back to the beginning. Overdub. So when you're recording Q-Link sequences, remember you want to press overdub. You don't want to press record. You want to record with overdub. Otherwise, if you press with record, if you record with the record button, it will record over your data. So over your notes. So you want overdub. So now I'm just about to record this quick sequence with some modulation on it. As you can see, the in indicator on the Midi there flashes. When I twist the knob, it flashes. As you can see, look, I'm twisting the knob. Okay. So that data is recorded now. So what I want to do to see that data, let's go to my sequence edit page. Okay. There's my notes. So here we got the notes. So I'm going to play it again. All right, you can hear it cutting in. Okay, so basically to see the data, press the step edit, and then you want to scroll all events. As you can see, mod wheel, control 1, mod wheel. See it? That's how you do it. So again, you can do it. Let's just erase this. So I'll erase this. Let's press erase. All accept notes. And we'll go do it. And now that's gone. So now, what we want now, I'll show you can do it on the sequence page as well. So top left, sequence. Sequence 1. So we select, we got sequence 1, okay? So we're gonna use it on sequence 1. So what we wanna do from here is we wanna select knobs, because we got it on knob 1, all right? So we go knob 1, and we select whichever ones we want here. Let's just do some random ones. Let's just do it. So there we go. We got a sequence going there, right? So now we want to turn on the slider, the knob. So Q1 is the knob we want. So that's F3. We press F3. So now we got a sequence going. To activate this sequence, remember, we want to press the Q-Link sequence button because the data is not recorded yet, yeah? So to play it, we want to press this button here, Q-Link sequence. So now it's activated. We've got the Q1 button on, and we got the Q-Link sequence button activated, yeah? So if I press it, if I press play, yeah? If I change these steps here, see, again, you can record this data if you want to record it. Yeah, So that's how you do it. So if you want to record this data, remember, overdub and play. If you want to erase it, you go to step edit to look at the data in there, Q-Link events. And that's it. And the active button overrides everything. So if you got the active button switched on, it's going to override whatever you got recorded. All right, so I've showed you how to use the sequence, Q-Link sequence, and how to do the setup for an external device, an effects device internally, and a part or all parts. So now we're going to switch these off. And there's one more that I'm going to show you. I'll show you quickly. So here, like I said, you got 3 options. You got off, Q event, control change, and then you got one more, pad control. So now I'm going to show you pad control. So I'll switch these off for now. So these ones I'm going to turn off. Off. So they're all off now. Okay, so still got the effects on. So I'm just pressing a pad there. So now what we want to do to go to pad control, you press the send button. So we're going to use, we're going to use number 5. So we go pad control. So what we want to do from here is you want to select the pad. So if you press the pad, as you can see, it moves. It goes on whatever pad you press. So for this one, we're just going to press the first pad, pad 1, yeah? Note 37. So here we can have different assignments for just the one pad, yeah? As you can see, it's got the range here. Like I said, the range differs depending on what assignment you have. So here we have pitch, like you see it change. So we have volume, pitch, pan, release, attack, decay, resonance, cutoff, LFO depth. So it's limited for the one pad, but they're the options you got, which are actual program parameters. So for this one, let's just try the pitch, see what happens. Remember, you can set the range. So again, with this, you can record this data without the active button. You don't need the active button to record, but the active button overrides everything that's been recorded, whether it's a sequence Q-Link or just a normal, like, manual Q-Link, messing with the fader or the knob. As you can see, I'm moving the knob here. And remember, you can set the range to whatever range you want. And that's it. So you can record this data for the one pad. And what you do, if you want to erase it, remember, you go to step edit, find the data within the step edit page or the sequence edit page and press erase. And then you can select whatever you want to erase. You can erase notes, everything, or not notes, everything but notes, or you can press delete on one of the F keys and select from there. So that's it. That's everything about the Q-Links. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you got the most out of this. Because like I said, it's never really been explained in full, so I thought I'd explain it in full. I did my little research and I made this video. So yeah, this is part 2 to why you should buy an Mpc 4000. Peace out.